Hello guys, Hatred Elemental back once again with Draco Soda's here.
Hello.
And we've got 14th place, Lume Truffle Man. 39.0, 38, 45, 31, 35, 46.
That's a good score.
Let's go!
3 noble nickels, 1 energy element.
Always check left.
Yay!
Mushroom Mets.
Metrooms!
Metrooms!
Woo!
Okay, we've got a lot of mushrooms and truffle-based stuff going on here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're bouncy. Good to know.
Even the Gabyols are mushroom-themed.
Yeah, what name do you prefer, Spine or Gabiol? Oh, mini explosions!
Spores. I don't have a preference, actually.
Naturally, I go Spine, but that's just because that's what I'm used to. Oh god. You cannot control your jump height there. Oh, you aim wherever.
Please don't tell me this is it.
Just a mini-boss.
Mini-boss is always welcome. Whoa!
Gotcha. Big. Oh, you're a. Oh, this is reminding me of Dark Dizzy.
Just a bit. Not too bad, though, right?
No, it's actually fun. And the whole idea of all the enemies being mushroom-based is kind of ingenious.
It's original.
I'm dead.
And the music's not bad either.
No.
Super Arrow totally cheeses everything, though.
Oh, yeah. It's like a faster rush jet that you can't aim.
I guess technically it would be steer.
Oh, yeah. No! I did not... changing weapons is not a good idea there. Alright. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
This stage does some pretty fun stuff, I like it.
Now let's check out Truffle Man himself. Yes, we have a boss.
He looks good. Whoa! And this is very clearly a dev kit boss theme.
Very clearly. A dev kit boss theme? I will use it! No one will ever know!
I guess it's not all that bad if you use a dev kit boss theme, because hey, it's provided.
Yeah. Still though, some original, like, some different music would be really good. I want to find those other nickels.
Mega trips on shrooms.
I was not expecting you to say that when you said you wanted to say something. Oh god, not now, controller. I have something to say too. Mega Man, do the Truffle Shuffle!
Woo!
Ah, God, I love the Goonies. Maybe down here?
Nope!
That's not a thing. You're kidding me! This is destroyable! So, cracked walls are a thing. Best keep an eye out. Right here. Thank you for seeing that, Jericho.
No problem.
Let's go!
This is good. Pretty neat level. The custom enemies are actually super neat and adorable, and they're used and combined in interesting ways. I really like the enemies that shoots the wave of explosions. It's used in some pretty neat rooms, and it's interesting to work around. Combustible spores, everyone! I'm not sure if I like how the noble nickels were hidden, though. 2 out of 3 are behind breakable walls that took me a couple of playthroughs to even realize they were there. Both the mini-boss and boss were impressive and a lot of fun to fight, and the level's just fun in general. I don't like the final stretch before the boss, though, with the moving mushroom platform. It's a huge pain to try and kill the mushroom mets while trying to stay caught up with the platform. I feel like better enemy choice would have made the section more fluid and fun. I still really like most of the level, though. It's just super fun and creative.
That level really felt like something out of a fan game. The custom enemies were great, and the bouncing mushroom gimmick was executed very well. The small bouncing mushrooms were placed in ways that were fun without being too hard for the level. The big ones went fast enough to keep you on your toes, but slow enough that you could catch up to them if you fell behind. The mini-boss was also fun to fight. It was, spammy, but fair because it didn't have much invincibility. Much invincibility time, if any. My main issue is that the stage was a little bit too short. A little bit too short. I wanted to play more. Truffle Man himself looks really cool, and the fight is fun, but that laser attack takes up a bit too much space. Overall though, fantastic level.
Pretty nice level! I like the mushroom-themed enemies and how they behave, though I'm kinda sad the level forgot about 2 of its enemies after the first room. Aside from that, it's pretty consistent and has a nice flow to it. I like the mid-boss, but I have some problems with Truffle Man himself. Aside from his buster dealing a lot of damage and often chasing me down after I thought I had already dodged it, since every bullet homes individually rather than it being a streak of 3 in the same direction, he limits off the arena, often causing the player to be right next to him, which is not where you want to be when a robot mushroom is tossing peas at you. I think he could have been more interesting if he utilized the pollen bombs from some of the enemies in the level instead of cutting off parts of the arena. The level itself is mostly fine, though I'm not a fan of the last section before the boss. The truffle mets on those platforms have to be taken out quickly or else the player will miss their ride. Placing a non-shielded enemy on the ride would have made getting back on the platform more reliable to accomplish. Overall, this stage doesn't do much, but it has a nice theme and is fun to play.
It's a really good level. The stage layout is actually very solid, however there are some issues, such as with certain enemies being too difficult to avoid, or noble nickels that are too hard to find. I liked the mushroom enemies too. Other than that, there's not much else that's considerably interesting in this stage, but it's still one I enjoy.
So here comes this level, feeling like it is straight out of one of the official games, more or less. Good stuff! The negatives to the stage? I think the color palette is a bit drab and boring. The spring mushrooms should have at least been different colors to help lessen confusion between what is an enemy and a gimmick. And I felt like it was very bizarre that the mid-boss has a greater range of attacks than the Robot Master. The weirdest bit of the stage? The single solitary Cartonbion from Mega Man 6 that shows up randomly, and isn't used again. The bomb-dropping Yambo?
Yeah.
Bear in mind, this is all minor, very nitpicky stuff. I guess the only real issue here is it is not the most creative stage out there. This stage gets enemy and gimmick conveyance spot on, the theming is completely consistent and well joined, strange dragonflies aside, and finally, it makes full use of every gimmick to its full effect. I have a slight issue with the Master. The fact that lasers are suddenly introduced to the stage is a bit off-putting, but this is yet again a nitpick. He seems pretty difficult, but also pretty fair once you get used to him. As far as good Mega Man levels go, this counts and in my opinion ticks every box. Great work!
Yeah, I liked it.
Nona Man. Are you one of the few people that actually knows who I am? If you are, then you deserve a nice big cookie.
13th, Kunosakiaka.
Mount Saber.
39.4, 40, 41, 46, 37, 33. Let's go!
Bang. 3 noble nickels, 1 energy element.
And a long loading time.
Whoa! Simia scaled this mountain to rescue the residents of Leaf from the grip of the Dragonian army, but he's been gone for far too long. I'm afraid our hero may be in danger and needs your help. Go after him and see what you can find out. Have a safe journey.
Thank you. Oh, they're running away from something. Ow!
Whoa!
You're an enemy.
Akihiko-senpai defeated an enemy!
Die! It's a simple but annoying AI.
Kinda reminds me of Kingslayer, actually. Or at least the idea for it.
Yeah.
I get the feeling this is probably supposed to be a top-down perspective.
Maybe? I don't even know. Not sure I want to know.
We have the melting platforms. Man. Okay.
Not sure what this is supposed to be referencing. Also, the enemies seem to have a bit too much HP. Not sure if there's a reason to get that. But I will take that.
Cube stage. I think.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely supposed to be a top-down perspective.
Whoa! Is that like some sort of dragon-type thing? As an actual dragon myself, I appreciate the effort.
It's a serpentine dragon, sort of. It's one of those ones with wings but no arms or legs.
An amphitheater, huh?
Yeah, an amphitheater. I'm not the greatest with dragon names. That's why you're here.
That's a spider.
At least that wasn't a noble nickel. So I'm happy. Speaking of which, how many noble nickels have I gotten?
2. Out of 3. There are only 3. So, all in all, not terrible.
One of these paths is going to have some... No?
Nope.
Hey, go away. Stop this. This is madness.
Madness? This is Sparta!
Nope, nope, nope.
Spiders aren't supposed to fire lasers out of their eyes.
And yet they do.
As for those little red enemies, they're like the Medusa heads, but more annoying if possible.
Oh yeah, I hated the Medusa heads.
And I think we have the Gabule type. Whoa!
Okay.
Here's your last noble nickel.
Thanks?
He's already dead.
Oh no. You killed him!
I am the great General Kelbesk. I am one of Dragonia's finest four. You better hope you're a high enough level to damage me. They don't tell you these things in the instruction manual. Okay. Okay, that was funny. They don't tell you these things in the instruction manual. Yeah, this has definitely got... This definitely has to be a reference to something. Whee!
King?
Are the rest of the villagers okay? I really appreciate your efforts. This madman with crazy eyebrows came down in a floating capsule and trapped Semi on that one dude who looks like a fish when he jumps in here with me. You must put an end to his devious plans. He accidentally left behind this strange glowing orb. Take it with you. Surely it will aid you with your quest.
Okay.
3 guesses.
Dr. Walley.
Oh hey, more references I don't get. Me neither. Very interesting level, though I'm not sure if I like the first half all that much. I don't really think it introduces the new enemies and its concepts very well, and the usage of the melting ice blocks is okay at best, and there's a couple awkward jumps that annoy me. Also, the zombies don't actually run into you, they stop right in front of you. Once the level actually gets to the second half, though, it gets a lot more interesting, with some actually pretty difficult setups involving those Soundwave enemies. It actually plays really well, and I like it a lot. The level also has a lot of charm going for it, too, with funny dialogue through it, and it just seemingly really clashy in an adorable way, seeing Mega Man just running around in what seems to just be your typical NES RPG that didn't actually leave Japan. So while the first half is pretty weak, the rest of the level is strong enough that I can still call it a pretty great level.
This is so cool! I have no idea what game this level is based off of, but I really like it nonetheless. My main issue was with the cave section. The green dratini looking things and the spiders were spammed way too much. The bats were annoying and it seemed like my shots went through them. Also, the boss was pretty boring and it felt like more could have been done with it. Still, the level is pretty fun overall and has a nice aesthetic, making it an enjoyable experience.
What a charming stage! It feels like an adventure, and somehow the top-down plus side-scroller mix works beautifully. It's a bit long, but really well designed, and doesn't suffer from its aesthetic either. I think if it was stripped from all its custom graphics, it'd still hold up as a fun and interesting stage. I think the enemies here have a bit too much HP, and some jumps and sections can be rather tricky to overcome, especially when relying on the Buster, but this stage is great regardless.
Glad I'm not the only one who noticed the HP problem. I kind of feel bad not knowing what franchises this level makes reference to. Also, even aside that, I really liked the ideas used and how they were used. The only part I didn't like was right before the boss gate, where it took me a long while to figure out that you can actually climb the blue wall like a ladder. Other than that, the level design is fairly solid, although I didn't like the precise ice blocks section, and a few other places with enemies requiring precision or timing to avoid. Other than that, there's not much else I can say about this one, except that I really liked it.
I have no idea what this stage is a reference to, admittedly.
That makes none of us!
But it is a neat idea for a level! And that is really all this is. A clever idea that is not expended upon to any great depths. You nailed the look of the stage, though. It's seriously unique. Mega Man traversing an overhead landscape? Cool. Nothing in the level actually taking advantage of this unique opportunity? Boo! At the very least, nothing feels like it's pointless or added for no reason, so the level is at least coherent. Still, by purely platforming standards, it's fun enough. Your new enemy assets are solid, even if a few of them had perhaps a little too much health. The zombie comes to mind. I wish I had seen more platforming gimmicks of some description, especially if you weren't going to take advantage of the level's situation with the enemies. There is only one unique non-enemy gimmick in the stage, towards the end of the level. I really wish it was more than a mere cutscene in practice, though. Other neat features were the opportunities to talk to the NPCs. I kind of wish there were more of them, honestly, as the writing isn't half bad. The boss was alright. I'm rather surprised I never saw him use that sword of his, which he showed off in the intro. Maybe just another attack would have benefited him from really ultimately being forgettable. I'm glad he showed up all the same. Great idea and wonderful attention to detail, too. Alas, the execution is utterly average. Could have done with a bit more of a push to utilize the advantage the concept had.
Yeah.
Hey, Gutsman!
I've been trying to make up space jokes, but coming up with a good punchline is a huge pain in the asteroid.
Hey! Dost my eyes deceive me? Honey woman? Oh, Vesper woman. Hey, you. Hope you've been enjoying yourself. Must be fun going through all these simulations with all their enemies and bugs and death spikes and bottomless pits and bosses and perilous platforming and please don't be mad at us.
Level 12th place, Flashman 85, Gutsman's Asteroid.
Oh, that makes sense.
40.0, 44, 35, 42, 37, 42. Let's go.
5 noble nickels, 2 energy elements. We are the robots.
Man, can you hear me? This spaceship is carrying supplies, rare materials, and for some reason innocent puppies for Walley's new asteroid base. I need you to go through the engine room and take control of the bridge so we can bring the cargo back home safely. Expect heavy resistance on the bridge. Walley has undoubtedly sent his best robots to defend this cargo.
Because puppies! Oh, hey! Hello!
That's one, Noble Nickel! Because always check left.
Oh, hi!
Mini boss!
Already.
Or, you know, you could overload the power core and blow up the spaceship. I swear, when I build your replacement, I'll make sure he's a pacifist who never wants to blow up anything. Luckily, you've landed on the asteroid where Walley is constructing his new base. Why don't you see what else you can destroy? Way to make me feel bad, Dad!
Well, you blew up the spaceship, so... You blew up the puppies.
No!
Hey, go away.
I blew up the puppies! How dare you!
Fail.
Sad.
For some reason, innocent puppies.
Well, if I were building an evil lair, which I am, not really evil, but I'm building a lair, I would want there to be puppies.
Come to the dark side, we have cookies! I don't know why, but for some reason that's a popular joke. Because yay for Super Arrow.
That same unused enemy from the first Game Boy game.
Hey!
Yes! You weren't gonna fool me into thinking there was just a platform up there. I always assume there are spikes and overall peril of some sort.
You are overall peril of some sort, honestly.
One time one of my spells went wrong. That one time, and you're still bringing it up.
I don't trust this. Okay. Okay, so you can stand on those guys. Good to know. Okay. Go away!
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's an easy jump.
Duh.
No!
Wait.
What?
Can you ride on those things?
Yeah!
Oh, right. watching Roll Mithril's footage of the first Mag Mammal, yeah.
And just memories of the game where they're from, even though I can't remember which one they're from.
Mega Man 5.
Yeah, I was thinking 5.
They were in it. Hey!
Eddie!
Well, I was right about one thing. Eddie does try to kill you at some point in this game.
Ugh! Eddie! I trusted you, man!
Mr. Jared thought we were friends! Hey. Rocks.
These boulder dispensers are on proximity trigger, so please refrain from charging past them like a woozy water buffalo. It's becoming difficult to find replacement parts to rebuild you. My last shipment of materials never even arrived because the delivery person blew it up! Also, it appears the asteroid is now hurling towards the sun. My soap opera should be over before you get incinerated, so keep exploring until I'm ready to teleport you out.
This is a new side to Dr. Light.
Didn't press the pause button fast enough.
Death Pebble!
I am a woozy water buffalo. I will always hate the Stone Man. I will always hate these droppers. Always, always, and forever, always.
Carrie has opinions. How many noble nickels are there?
I am not risking that. Approximately 602.
Oh, this is bad! Why?
Okay, there's one of them.
How many noble nickels?
Just one more, and one more energy element. What happens if I don't blow up the mini-boss? Can I sneak past and go to the other shutter? I can!
Huh?
Okay then!
Oh, right, there were two energy elements.
Let's get the other noble nickel! In all honesty though, that Dual Guts Man boss is a really interesting one, I like it. Alright. Because Eddie.
Memes!
What?
That was a Mega Man meme!
Really?
Dude, that was Guts Man's ass!
Oh! Is that a thing?
That was brilliant!
Gimme.
Oh my god! Huh?
That's a thing.
I know where that last noble nickel is, by the way.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out how do we get to it. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
It's right there, but hold on.
We've got a dispensary porter.
Dispensary chuck wagon porter.
Of course.
Really nice level. The whole plot of the level and the dialogue is really funny, and there were many moments that caught me by surprise, like the spaceship blowing up and...
Eddie!
The mining theme of the level is pulled off really well, and there's a bunch of mining-themed gimmicks that are introduced well and in a safe environment, and the difficulty is properly ramped up. I love the usage of the Drill Man lights. Oh, those are lights that are revealing the background! It's a complete subversion of their intended use, and it's really neat. I was also very pleasantly surprised to see the napalm drills get usage too, considering their function in this game. Probably the only part I don't really like is the part with the Drill Man rocks, but I feel like that's less just it being not as good and more just me being terrible at dealing with them. The boss was neat and funny, but I feel like the arena got a bit too cramped at times due to it having lots of Drill Man rock spawners in it. But there's just some tiny complaints in an otherwise pretty great level, and it's overall super fun to play. Also, I found that hidden Yasichi.
Dana!
That was a Yasichi?
I think it was a retextured Yasichi.
Yeah, but that was glorious.
Gutsman's ass.
Memes.
Man, who knew Dr. Light was so good at dry humor? Anyway, this was a pretty fun level. I really enjoyed the space challenge it provided. My main issue was the room where Eddie is just sitting there until he shoves an instant death drill in your face. That's not fair to the player because they won't see it coming. It's not terrible because there's a checkpoint in the same room, but it's still pretty annoying. And a few sections toward the end. Sorry, I just can't stop thinking about Gutsman's ass.
That'll send the wrong message.
But it's still pretty annoying. A few sections toward the end went a bit crazy with the falling rocks too. The boss, on the other hand, was a super fun and unexpected fight against two Gutsmans. Or is it Gutsman?
Really cool journey. I like the progression in this level, going deeper and deeper into the asteroid. This level's use of the drills was pretty creative, and to be honest, I kinda wish it put more focus on them throughout. Eddie's secret weapon is the best thing ever, though. Sometimes I found the enemies to be pretty tricky to get to, or the rocks to be slightly too frequent to make it past safely. But aside from that, I really liked their placements. I also like the little secrets hidden in this level, and the secret exit. Really cool level overall.
I found the concept of this level interesting and executed fairly well. Despite that, it just doesn't feel that interesting. However, I think I like the Easter eggs hidden throughout the level, and I like how you can finish this stage just by skipping the first mini-boss. Other than that, it's enjoyable, but that's about it.
To the creator, you dickhead! You absolute dickhead! If you're reading this before you've played the stage, you'll know exactly what I'm on about as soon as you see it. Actually, all told, you made me laugh. A lot. This was fun for that reason alone, but you thankfully backed it up with some very solid level design and really nifty usage of dev kit assets. You turned what sounded like the most boring level and theme possible and put as much pizzazz as the dev kit assets let you. Your best feature, next to the humor, is you playing with the player expectations. You subvert it several times and always left me wondering what you could possibly pull off next. You also did a pretty good job with gimmick conveyance, so even new players should understand what game mechanics they should expect out of you. I wasn't a big fan of the falling rocks, there's a few too many of them in spots, which kills the pace, nor the noble nickel associated with the gimmick, but everything else was pretty damn spiffy. There was one or two iffy jumps, and the aforementioned dick move that let you down a bit, but I think a lot of people are going to like this one. Also, hi Gutsman! You were used well, and that's great! So anyone playing this, find the second energy element. That shows this guy commitment to the comedic arts.
Yeah.
Whoa, you can bounce on those.
I meant to jump, but jump I did not.
Hello.
Gutsman's ass. See, there's this one, and then the boss. But yeah, this is running a little bit... Yeah, I'm just gonna end things here. We're gonna save the final part of Tier 9 for next time. But until then, this is Hatred Elemental and Draco Sotazir signing out. We hope that you guys enjoyed, and we shall see you again next time.
I've got the guts!
Goodbye.